Tonight at 10, King Charles and his 3 siblings hold a vigil at their late mother's coffin as she lies in state in Westminster Hall. They stood in silence as members of the public filed past to pay their own respects. Thousands queued to see the Queen, including the former England captain David Beckham. Everyone was moved by their experience.
I wouldn't have missed it for the world. Fantastic.
I've never been so humbled. I don't really have the words to describe how I feel. She is the only Queen I've ever known.
And this is the scene right now, with people continuing to queue despite an onset of colder weather tonight and waiting times of almost 20 hours. Earlier, the King ended his tour of the UK in Cardiff, addressing members of the Welsh Parliament and greeting crowds who came to welcome him.
I take up my new duties with immense gratitude for the privilege of having been able to serve as Prince of Wales.
We'll bring you details of the events taking place over the weekend, leading up to the Queen's state funeral on Monday. Also on the programme, Ukraine says hundreds of graves have been found outside Izium, a city that was recently regained from Russian forces.
It's only now, after the Russians have been pushed out, that the authorities can really investigate and can establish how many victims they left behind.
As retail sales in the UK dip sharply, the pound falls to a 37-year low against the US dollar. And the Women's Super League in England gets underway, with clubs enjoying record ticket sales off the back of the Lionesses' success in the Euros.
And stay with us here on BBC News, where we will bring you continuing coverage of events plus analysis from our team of correspondents in the UK and around the world.
Good evening. The Queen's 4 children, led by King Charles, have held a vigil at Westminster Hall, standing in silence around their late mother's coffin, while members of the public filed past quietly to pay their respects. Earlier, the queue to see the Queen lying in state reopened after a pause of several hours. But mourners are being warned of a long wait of almost 20 hours, and the weather overnight is expected to be cold. The King and the Queen Consort Camilla concluded their UK tour earlier in the day in Wales, where the King addressed the Senedd in both English and Welsh. We'll have more on that later in the programme. But first, here's our royal correspondent, Nick.